Okay, here we are at the Main Street Innovation Center again today. Got the hired guns with me and Mike Waters.
Howdy.
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 Okay.
Howdy, howdy.
Get the old howdy down.
Yep.
Yeah, howdy, howdy. And we're going to expand a little bit on that howdy again today, on how we express the branding process, what the difference between traditional branding and digital branding is. And so we're going to start out with the Cowboys and talk about, hey, what's traditional branding? Where did it all start and what's it all about?
Let's talk about brands. You
Okay.
know, there's a lot of, branding and brands, that's kind of the big buzzword nowadays. But if you go back to where they started, really it started with cowboys. Cowboys developed a simple brand that they would brand the side of their cow, whatever, to generate ownership. There's a lot of pride, a lot of meaning in that brand. And really that's where the brand evolved from, as a simple symbol that represented the cowboy's family, and pretty much what the cowboy stood for.
Okay, so it is really not a whole lot different than what we're kind of talking about today, is it?
Not
Okay.
different at all. In fact, you take the next step, and we talk about branding, and that's really where that term came from. But then we took the next step. Well, if it's my brand, that's the brand I want to put on my company. So, and so, I guess you start with a logo. A brand is far beyond just a logo, just a company logo, because a brand represents, kind of like it represents that family and everything that family stood for, that ranching family. And when you saw that brand on that cow, you could tell by looking at that cow what kind of a cowboy that was. Now, hopefully, you look at my company brand, and that represents something. When you see that brand, that represents my company. The whole company experience. It's how I'm greeted when I walk through the door. If it's a bank, it's how the teller treats me when I go in and make a transaction. It's how I'm treated, during that transaction. It's the follow-up afterwards. A brand goes far beyond just that company logo, but a logo is certainly a place to start, but it grows far beyond that.
Okay.
Something to keep in mind too is the simpler the better. I mean, if you think about logos now, the more complex that logo is, the easier it is to forget.
Yeah.
And in the old days, a simple brand was the easiest, and you figure you get this big complicated thing, that cow is going to see that coming and just going to take off. That's the last thing you want on him. So the simpler the better, and nowadays even the simple brands are the ones that are most remembered.
Yeah. Yeah. They are like the little.
Or like
Swoosh.
even a simple thing with a little leaf out of the top of it, maybe a bite out of the side of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Does that sound familiar at
That's
all?
the king of all brands. That's Apple.
That absolutely.
There's this one thing. It's just an apple with a bite, and that's it.
Yeah.
But what does that represent?
Well, it represents a club. It represents a community. It represents a meaningful integration of human and device together. It represents a whole, there's just a whole brand there. It's a whole experience. And when people buy into that brand, when they write the check for that first Apple product, they become this Apple, I call them cult members. And they're drones, and they love the product. And Apple doesn't have to defend their product. Because you go out on the internet and you say something bad about an Apple product, and you've got a whole bunch of ranchers for the Apple brand that'll say, whoa, partner, that ain't true. Let me tell you what it is. Bam, bam, bam. And it's an amazing thing when you see it working. And they're the most capitalized company. They're more than the oil companies. They got more cash because they got a brand that is unmistakable.
It's a $500 billion company.
Yep.
Just read about it yesterday. It's the biggest company in the world.
But when I own an Apple product, I'm just not owning that Apple product. I become a part of that Apple family.
That's right.
It's lifestyle. Right. It's how when I show that I own an iPad, it says something about me. It says I'm better than you are because you don't have one, and it really that's all part of that Apple.
Guys were buying iPhones to pick up girls at bars because that's what I got, and the girls will let me see that, and it's a brand.
It's like driving a Mercedes. It's like driving a Corvette. It's like it's those things that just stand out and represent a group of people, or sometimes even a whole era of people.
Yeah. Well, and I reckon any of the cows in my herd would be proud to have an Apple branded on there.
Absolutely.
On their hides.
Well, as you can see, branding is important, and today especially, who we are, what we represent, what we do with our businesses, is so important to people. The number one thing, Mike, tell me, what do people do when they are getting ready to buy a product What's the first thing that the average person does nowadays?
3 to 5 searches on reviews, and they check up on the company.
Okay,
They read about the company. The first three to five, the average customer will make between 3 and 5 decisions online that are not related to the company. So that means if you're going to buy a Chevy online, that means that customer's going to go to 3 to 5 places other than Chevy.com to find out about it.
okay. So when they're finding out about it, what are the resources? What are they looking for? Who are they talking to? What are they looking at to find out that information?
Well, here's the bad news, Bill. If they're not out there engaging the customers there, it's whoever wants to say whatever they want
Okay.
to say. And that is actually a huge problem for businesses today. Is they've got literally droves and droves and droves of negative information or untrue information or inaccurate information or not brand worthy information about them that they have not even bothered to look up, challenge, and fix.
And most of it because they're afraid to put it on their website so people can express it on their site so they can see who's talking
Mhm.
negatively about them because they're scared to death of it. And how should they address that?
You can't fear it, it's already happening.
How did we used to address it in the old days? When somebody was saying bad stuff about us, what happened?
No, we just arrest them and hang them. Easy
You
solution.
know, if you were smart, you'd seek that person out
Yeah.
and resolve that concern. It really, if you look at it in the right way, it becomes an opportunity to solve a problem and make a difference and gain a loyal customer for life. But so often, then and now, it's easy to turn your face and try to ignore it and hope that it goes away. But it doesn't go away now.
No, the life on the internet is eternity. One of the things I wanted to say, Bill, is that one of the things that people need to understand is brands in the past 10 years and moving forward are doing the same phase that our pets have. Our pets went from outside chained up to inside the house to now sleeping on the bed to now having their own clothes. Okay? Customers are wanting to
their own
interact.
doctor.
Yes. Customers are now wanting to interact with their brands in the exact same way. They're not wanting it to be something that's chained up outside. They're wanting to bring it in the house. They're wanting it to be a part of their lives at every level. And they only do that if you allow your brand to be that lovable and warm and friendly.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, if I'm the average business person that doesn't understand any of this kind of thing, how do I learn how to do that? Where do I go to learn how to make, to build that brand and to make that brand lovable and out there where people say good things about me so that you want to purchase from me when you go online and do some research? How do they learn
Perfect
that, Bill?
segue. Appreciate that, Craig. Main Street Innovation Center is the place to go. These guys are here. We've got a whole team of experts that are going to be here to help you understand what it really takes to get your business out there in front of your customers, good or bad customers, get them out there and react with those customers. It's all about building customers, and those customers are all about finding the businesses they want to deal with. And you know what? They want to deal with local business. And right now, 75 to 80% or more local businesses are not online, and we want to get you there. We want to help you figure out how to get your business in line. We've brought all these great people together here at the center that can really teach you exactly what you need to know. No guesswork. These guys have been there, done that a number of times. And we want to share that information with you and help you get your businesses out there. MainStreetInnovationCenter.com. Come and see us. Check these guys out. You can resource with them all day long. Get them into your own environment. We just get things started here and help you find a way to success in your business today. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate your input.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Absolutely.
Pleasure.
Partner. Pleasure.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks, Bill.
You betcha.
Mike?
Thanks, guys. My kind of peeps.
All right.